You're looking at a 1975 Gottlieb's El Dorado. This particular El Dorado is an overall excellent original condition. The playfield, or excuse me, the cabinet itself, I have done no touch-ups to, and I don't see any touch-ups that anybody else has done. The only thing that's been done to it has been cleaned. I would say it's an overall excellent condition. It's probably an 8.5 out of 10. There's a few nicks and a few small scrapes here and there, but overall it presents excellent. The metal is nice, bright and shiny, and there's very minimal surface rust. To be honest, the only surface rust I see is on the inside of the legs, which is actually extremely common. The actual playfield itself is also in excellent condition. We've had this El Dorado for about 2 years. When we first got it, we tore everything down and we cleaned everything up to include the score motor, the stepper units, all the drop targets, the flippers, put in new coil sleeves where we needed it, and got it all up and running. And then at that point, we put new rubbers in it, and that was about 2 years ago. If I do remember, there are a few plastics on here that have some small hairline cracks, but they haven't gotten any bigger since we've owned it. Other than that, it's in fabulous condition for its age. The back glass, we do have the original back glass too, and honestly, the original is probably an 8 out of 10. There's very little wear on it. It's just the center of the sun and then the gun itself. But this machine was in such good shape, and I never thought I was actually going to get rid of it. We'll kind of get into that in a second. So I went ahead and I paid, and I had a reproduction made. It's a fabulous reproduction, and I'll have pictures of that as well. Not much else to say about this El Dorado. We were planning on keeping this guy for quite a while. This is probably my favorite electromechanical playfield. I've had other people ask me if I was ever going to sell it because it is in great shape, and I always said no. So you're probably wondering why then I'm opting to rehome this guy. I actually scored a Gold Strike. And for those of you who are familiar with this game, Gold Strike is like the almost identical brother of this game. So what's the big difference? Well, the big difference is Gold Strike is an add-a-ball, and El Dorado is a special. So you can get awarded a free game on this one, but with Gold Strike, you can get awarded a free ball. And for our family and the type of play that we do at home, getting awarded that free ball for us is probably a little bit more exciting. They also made this playfield in some other games as well that we've had before. Target Alpha we've owned, which is a great 4-player game. I think they made Canada Dry, I think. Obviously El Dorado, Gold Strike. I know I'm missing a few that are gonna pop up after this video. Gottlieb used this. There was even one solid state, I believe, which was like El Dorado, but converted to electronic format. And I know I'm missing one. I know there's one out, Solar City. That's the other one that they made with this identical playfield, but just with different art. Super popular, super fun to play. It is very simple by design, but like a lot of simple games, it kind of tricks you into thinking that it's easy, and it's not. So before I turn it on, I'm gonna kind of show you a little bit of what I know about how the rules on El Dorado play. And so the goal is, as I know anyways, the goal is to knock down all your drop targets here. You got your stallions and your cactuses up here. As you knock those down, when you complete the whole cycle of dropping them, you'll get awarded a special, which will allow you another credit. Now this game is set to free play. It will award you that credit, and as soon as you consume that credit, it just stays at 0. It's just a lot easier for home use. If you were theoretically to put this back on route and you wanted it to take quarters, or you just wanted to take quarters at home, it wouldn't be that difficult to do. There's just 2 wires there that are jumpered together that you just have to unjumper. And then it would work like a normal credit machine. But the other big thing is when certain lights are lit, you will score 5,000 points. And in this game, 5,000 points is a huge amount of points. And how you do the lights, you'll see them light up in front of the different drop targets. You can move them with this rollover in the center. Now you do have to hit that dead on in order for the rollover to move it, but it does sharply. The other one are these stand-up targets here will also move your 5,000 point. So getting 5,000 points on El Dorado, like you said, is a tremendous amount of points. And sometimes I kind of concentrate on getting those if I can get ball control. and then do the drop second, if that makes sense. A couple of the harder drops to get are these two over here, and sometimes these two over here, just depending on how the ball is moving. And then you got to be careful as you get towards the out lanes here and here. They tend to be a little greedy, like a lot of electromechanical games. So anyways, we'll go ahead and we'll start it up now. If you do start up this particular machine, there's a main start right underneath. Mostly incandescent in this machine. For those of you not aware, incandescent is just a lighting system. It's an older light method. I think it looks a lot better on these older games. However, there are some places where I went ahead and I did do some LEDs. I like to do on the old EMs, I like to have the game's name flash like that. That just, I think it looks kind of cool. It's really hard now, you can still find them, but the incandescent bulbs that flash like that, they're getting hard to find and they're expensive. So I go ahead and I do LED versions. One is a flash fast blinker, one is a slow. Excuse me. And then I just alternate them. And then it gives it kind of a chaotic look, which kind of blends like the originals. Not perfect, but pretty close. The other thing I did is I went ahead and put warm whites behind the actual back glass. For those of you familiar, to get a replacement back glass, they're kind of expensive, $300, $350. So I wanted to make sure that the heat from the incandescent bulbs wouldn't actually damage this. It would take years to do, but as I said, my goal was to own this basically forever. So I set it up the way I would have wanted it. The other thing I did is on the rollover, I went ahead and I put a flexible light. It's an LED light with a little bit of wire that you can move around. And that way it kind of lights up the whole rollover instead of just the side of it. And then I think I also put LEDs in the pop bumpers. I do that typically to, a lot of times the heat from the incandescent lights will leave a brown spot on the tops of these. So in order to avoid that, like I said, I was planning on keeping it for my whole life. I go ahead and I put LEDs in there. So other than that, it's incandescent that I remember, and we'll fire it up and play a game. So you saw that I did the bottom right here. This is for people who aren't familiar with pinball machines. And then when you go ahead and when you start a Gottlieb, it's just the center button right here. And then you'll see the score reel reset. It will go through its reset cycle, and then we'll go ahead and play. I set all my electromechanical machines to 5-ball. You can set it to 3-ball, and it does change the rules up. You can see those lights start to move as you hit the rollover target or hit one of those stand-up targets. Ooh. Not my best one. This is something El Dorado does really good. It'll get you down to just a few drops and you think you're gonna make it, and a lot of times you don't. Whoa, didn't get a good jump on that one. So now you can see that rollover there is lit. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to give the ball just a little bit more power, and I'm going to see if I can't just go right down that too much. You can see I'm down to 2 drops up there. No, 1. And this is what this game is notorious for. You think you got it? See if I can do it. Almost. And no. And that happens to me all the time. So once again, this is a 1975 Gottlieb El Dorado. I absolutely love this game. I think this is one of the best electromechanical machines ever made. I really enjoy, we had Target Alpha, which I enjoyed a lot too, but there's something about the single player and the way the rules set. Basically with the 4-player, it has to reset itself between players because it doesn't have a computer and it just doesn't know. So everybody has to have a fair shake. But when you're playing a single player Gottlieb like this, it can remember where your targets were, when you dropped what, and it's just a better overall experience. So what we do here at our house when we play is we just go ahead and we have a book that we write everybody's, we call it the Book of Brag. But anyways, it's when we do little tournaments in the winter with our kids, we have some teenagers here and we will just write down, so everybody gets their shot to play, you write down their score, and then you just go to the next person. So once again, hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.